Hallo und willkommen zurück zu einer neuen Folge von Seduce Me. Eriks Route. In der letzten Folge hat Damien uns runtergetragen und Matthew hat uns ein kleines Kuscheltier gegeben, sozusagen. Sehr creepy außer im Übrigen. Und jetzt haben wir hier sozusagen eine Rückblende, wo sie sich erinnert, als ich so waren. Auf jeden Fall. Lesen wir jetzt weiter. I was standing alone. The entire classroom was filled with laughter and chatter, but I stood in the midst of it, quiet and alone. It was strange seeing the whole world pass in front of me with such vibrancy, all while I stood there. On the plus side, I wasn't engaged in any drama that might have arisen, like scribbling on someone's paper for revenge or kicking someone too hard. It was kind of nice just standing back and watching things pass by and life would go on. I had long convinced myself that I preferred being alone. I often encouraged myself, saying, yeah, I want to be alone. There's no one better than me, so I ought to spend more time with myself. But there was a certain bitterness that made me feel sad. There was a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. I just didn't realize it at the moment. And even after that moment, my father, my mother, there was no one to turn to. I was so lonely. That's when I decided on it right then. I was going to see my grandfather. I didn't care if my father wouldn't take me. I was going to walk my way over there and see what he had to say about it. I had never seen him before that. What better time to see him then? If no one else was going to help me with that I was feeling, I might as well have turned to him. So after school I decided to walk there. I had no idea how to get there, and I was armed with only a scrap of paper with the address scribbled on it. As a 7-year-old, I obviously had great ideas. Soon I know I was lost. I just stood there on the sidewalk, back pressed up against the wall, and eyes watching the strangers passing by. And like always, people continued to pass by and life continued to go on. I was more depressed than ever. I had ended up in a situation I was ordinarily in. Nothing had changed. I thought that I was silly for even thinking that I could change things with my own hands. That was until a voice brought me back to reality.
Hun, is that you?
Grandfather! I looked up, seeing an unfamiliar face, but it was obvious that whoever was talking to me knew who I was. And from that moment, things began to change. Life began moving its rusty joints, and I realized that things were moving along. Suddenly, I had become part of the crowd that moved like a blur past me. I was no longer someone who stood still and watched life pass by. Life had changed. I had changed. Because the person who found me that day was my grandfather. I had the opportunity to help them. The question was, would I? I wanted to, but I wasn't sure if that was the best idea. After all, 5 demons in my house wasn't exactly the living arrangement that I had imagined moving into. There was the matter of making sure no one found out about their power. Thinking about them as lab rats made my stomach queasy. And if they passed for humans, how would I explain having guys living in my house? Imagine if my friends came over. They would practically think I was a part of a harem or something. Oh god, imagine if my parents came over. I think my mom would faint. Who knows what my dad will do? I think he would have them arrested on the spot. This was hard. Maybe I should have written out the pros and cons list before actually having to make the decision.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
It was strange that I happened to remember what my grandfather said to me when I was little, but it did kind of make sense. They weren't in the same exact situation that I was in before, but I did want to help them out. I think it would ease my conscience and also make me a bit happy to give them help, as weird as that sounded. Shaking my hands into fists, I strengthened my resolve to speak up. Well, you could.
What was that, lovely lady?
That is,
Spit it out already.
Sam, ich versuch's. You could stay with me here if you like. As soon as I finished, the room became still. I'm not sure what went through their heads. The silence in the air cut like a knife until I spoke once more. It looked like you all need a place to stay, and, well, I just moved into this giant house, so it makes sense to ask. It was still quiet in the room. I decided to keep talking. If you would like to stay there, though there are two things that I need all of you to follow.
Yes?
First of all, you can use your powers on deliberately to do something that might harm me or any guest that comes over. We'll save for enemies, but you get the get of it.
That sounds reasonable.
Second, you have to help me with any arrange around the house. This place is kind of big, so yeah.
That is a generous offer, miss. Are you sure that would be okay? We don't wish to burden you any more than we already have.
It's alright, really. I mean, I just started living here myself, so I would appreciate some help around the house.
A wonderful idea. We'll live here and train while helping you with the house. Servants for the lovely princess.
Steht euch selbst Gesicht an. Mag ihn überhaupt nicht.
What? Are you serious?
Shh, be quiet, Sam. I haven't slept in a bed for days.
What? They all seemed to like the idea, except for Sam. And hey, I didn't really hate the idea either, even if they were incubi. It would be interesting having 5 guys helping me to take care of the house, given they would follow the rules that I had laid down.
Grr, fine, but we're not staying here forever. Only until we can beat up that group of punks.
Are you sure about that, Sam?
I think that is a reasonable time limit for our stay.
Yes, this is awesome.
Also beautiful. If you need a bedfellow.
Erik.
Erik, knock it off.
I was happy that they agreed. Maybe it was because I wasn't going to be lonely for a while, or because they all needed help. I would never be sure.
So what are we waiting for? Let's celebrate and dig in.
Finally, I'm starving.
Instantly, Matthew and Sam began to stuff themselves with the food on the table. I noticed James' eyes twitching in irritation, so I stifled my incoming laugh.
Really, you two? You're both acting like pigs.
Oh, let them have a little freedom, James. It's not like we've eaten recently either. I'm sure they've been starving.
Still, that's no excuse for stuffing their faces like backyard swine.
I almost couldn't hold it in. But I did, so I didn't. I couldn't hold in my laughter anymore as I loved Matthew and Sam looked my way, face stuffed.
Is something funny? What are you laughing at?
I stopped to catch my breath and leaned over the table and took a few breaths before replying. You both are so funny. Both of their faces turned a slight pink before they looked away and swallowed the food in their mouths.
Shut up! We're not funny. We're hungry.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that we made you laugh.
Selbstgesicht.
Shut up, Matthew!
What? I'm just saying.
See, James, it's entertainment for her.
Wie Sam grinsen tut, oh Gott, nee. They were funny to me. At least they enjoyed the food. As I watched, I took some food for myself and placed them on my plate before eating as well. Eventually, we all ate dinner together. It was strange eating with just guys, but they were enjoyable to be around. They made me feel like a part of the family as we ate together. However, our peace was soon disturbed. Ah! It's my mom. Excuse me. Hello.
Hey, honey, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't get to see you off.
Hey, Mom. Everything's fine. I'm actually eating dinner right now.
Oh, good, good. So there was food there. Well, your father wanted me to call and talk to you about having a house party tomorrow night to celebrate the new house and all.
House party. House party tomorrow night? So soon?
Your father insists. You know how he is with events.
I knew exactly what she meant. He didn't like long, relaxing periods between important events. It was slightly messed up. It was expected to add on the drop of a dime, from moving immediately the day after a funeral to my grandfather's house, to now organizing a party. I know, well, since I don't exactly have you here to help me arrange it, I'm going to need some time to prepare things.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, Suzu and Naomi can help. I have work, and you know how your father is.
I know, I have to do it myself. He won't help.
I'm sure it'll be amazing, honey. I have faith in you.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, I gotta go. I love you, sweetie.
I love you too, Mom. Great, now how am I going to do this?
Is something wrong?
She has to organize a house party for her parents.
How did you? Oh, right. Mind reading. But yeah, I have to do it soon, or my parents will be really disappointed. I have to stay up and organize everything tonight.
Hey, why don't we help you? That's what we're here for, right?
I don't see why not.
I can name a few reasons why we shouldn't.
Sam, don't be rude. Bitter.
Sam?
Back off.
We'll take care of everything, miss. Just leave everything to us.
That was surprising. I didn't think the boys would offer help right off the bat. I couldn't help but smile. I was actually rather thankful that I let them stay. Now I didn't have to do everything alone. As I kept thinking about it, I couldn't help but yawn.
Feeling a little tired over there, princess?
Okay, princess, I'm not. Okay, stotter, Hilfe. Yeah, it's been a long day. At least tomorrow, the weekend, so I can sleep in. Then it hit me. Wait, where are you all going to sleep?
We found some guest rooms on the opposite end of the house from the master bedroom. I'm sure those will do just fine.
Oh, got it. Alright then, I'm heading to my room to study and sleep. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow.
Have a good night.
I will, you too. With that, I left the dining room and went to my room.
Erik, no.
What? I wasn't going to do anything.
Yes, he was.
Shh!
Erik! Oh, Alter. As soon as I got into my room, a wave of exhaustion hit me. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? I just woke up from that nap. I dragged myself to bed and held up one of my bags. I opened it and grabbed my economic book, knowing that no matter how tired I was, I had to study at least a page or two before sleeping at last. The words on the page scrambled in my mind as I read through them, but after 2 or 3 tries, I managed to understand what the page was about. Equations. Ugh. Finally, I decided to change into my pajamas and head to bed. Today had been a long day and I needed the rest. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. 3 days of surprises in a row would kill me. With that thought in my mind, I drifted to sleep, embracing the darkness of slumber.
You fucking pretty boys think you're all that, huh? Well, save that to the end of my pistol!
Huh? What's going on? I couldn't move my body. I feel like I was tied up, and I couldn't see anything beyond the darkness that surrounded me. Yet I could hear the sounds of a heated argument coming at me from all directions.
One move and she gets it!
Wait, what?
Let her go!
Matthew? Matthew?
Come on, chicken shit. Fight us like a real man.
Chicken shit?
Like you scare me, Sam! Come on! Take one step, I dare ya.
Why can't I see?
Stay away from her, Malix!
And what are you gonna do, nerd boy?
Suddenly I felt myself pulled to one side, worms wrap around my body protectively.
I've got you. Don't worry.
Oh, Erik! Huh? Erik? As I was held in a tight embrace, I felt the world around me once again settled into a low, peaceful hum. The hostel of the dream before I had faded into black as the arms around me rocked me comfortingly. Slowly, though, my eyes folded open and I looked up at the person holding me. Damien? It was Damien! I stared into the eyes of Damien. His face was painted with worry and concern, and I knew he must have seen my dream. Why did I dream of Erik holding me, though?
You can't control your dreams.
Oh, well, I guess you're right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. What time is it?
It's 9 a.m. James and I were making breakfast when well...
You can control your mind, really?
No, not yet at least. I hope to learn eventually, though.
Is everything all right?
Huh? Yeah, I'm alright.
That's good. I'm assuming you had a nightmare.
Yes, I'm sorry for disturbing you both.
You didn't disturb us, miss. Besides, we'd rather make sure you're okay before anything.
Oh, thank you.
Now, why don't you come downstairs with us and have some breakfast? I'm sure some nice food will take your mind off of what you dreamt of.
It was embarrassing to be the damsel in distress, but I felt rather happy that James and Damien concerned for me despite only knowing me for a short time. I wasn't sure if it just was courtesy or if they were genuinely concerned. I couldn't exactly read their minds. Alright. The two boys lead me back to the dining room where the smell of bacon and eggs danced in the air. The smell away from the kitchen and made its way into the room, making my stomach growl in need. Hey, Bacon und Eggs. Mache ich auch am Sonntag. Breakfast smells good.
We should be done with breakfast soon. If you want to sit down at the table, you can.
I noted before sitting down. As I sat down, however, my mind drifted back to the dream I had. That feeling of hostility around me made my body shudder instinctively, even though I know it wasn't real. However, as my eyes closed, I felt a hand place itself on top of my head, breaking me out of my thoughts. Huh?
Morning. You alright?
Oh, hey Sam! Wait, what? Yeah, I'm fine. Sam, the owner of the hand on my head, raised an eyebrow at me before rustling my hair and moving away to sit down at the table. He then barked towards the kitchen where James was working.
Hey! Is the food done yet? I'm starving!
There's no need to yell, Sam!
You're yelling too!
Don't argue with me!
From behind me, Erik appeared and sat beside me, rubbing his temples in obvious annoyance.
Can we not yell this early in the morning? It's not like we're in the castle.
Castle! For some reason, when I heard the word castle, I couldn't help but yell in surprise. These guys had a castle? Sam looked at me and smirked at my reaction. Of course.
Yeah, we have a castle back home. Our dining room's 10 times bigger than this room.
And wouldn't it be logical to not yell?
Whatever.
Soon James and Damien appeared carrying plates full of bacon, eggs, toast, and waffles. They placed the plates down by each seat before seating themselves.
My favorite.
Finally.
Thank you for the breakfast. It looks amazing.
It's our pleasure.
All of a sudden, my phone began to ring, ushering me to pull it from my pocket and answer. Hello?
Hey, good morning! Guess who's at your door right now?
Uh-oh. Right on cue, there was a knock from the lobby door. My heart stopped. Susan and Naomi were here.
I'll get it.
My heart quickly began to pound in my chest. Matthew was in the lobby, and he got to the door first. I instantly jumped out of my chair and rushed out of the dining room. As I passed through the archway between the dining room and lobby, I saw Matthew reach his head for the brass door handle, causing the world to go into slow motion. Matthew, don't! But before my words could reach his ears, Matthew had opened the door and relieved the surprised faces of Naomi and Suzu. Awkward. The world around me stopped as Susan and Naomi kept their eyes on Matthew, who merely stared back in fear and embarrassment. I could feel the air go from warm to freezing in a matter of seconds.
Hi?
I could not believe this was happening. How I was going to explain this? This week was already bad enough. To make matters worse, I was frozen in place. Please, for God's sake, someone do something other than stand there.
Who are you?
Suzu, let me explain.
What's going on here?
Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
No! Soon the other incubi appeared in the lobby with us. The situation was not getting bad, pretty. I had to think fast. Brothers, visitors, der in your... Also Brüder, nein, die wissen, wir sind Einzelkind. Die sind in eurem Kopf. Hört sich scheiße an. Der visitors?
Then why did one of them open the door?
Weil in der Nähe war.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I know. It was no use. There was no time to lie to them. I felt helpless. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder and felt the tension in my body almost fade away. I turned my head to see James smile at me before stepping in front of me.
We must apologize, ladies. We know the situation must be confusing for everyone. Let's take this to the dining room and we'll explain everything.
I said to James wide-eyed. Was he going to tell them who they were? Everything seemed so real. Hey, und hier! Stopp ich den Part! Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Und was wird James wohl sagen zu Naomi und Suzu? Das erfährt ihr in der nächsten Folge von Seduce Me. Eriks Route. Bis dahin, ciao, ciao!